How we going, guys? It's live on Hoggs Vlog, and the Mumbai Indians, well, they've just let Delhi Capitals in with a little bit of momentum going into this tournament. You can't afford to do that when you're on top of an opposition team who is probably the team that is going to test you at the back end of the tournament. So let's get straight into it. Live on a Hoggs Vlog. Let's roll the bumper, please, Shubs. Okay, hello everybody, and Artel Baral, let's get going, Hoggy. Yes, I know we're having a little bit of a problem with the internet connection here in Perth, where I'm from, so hopefully we don't get any cut out. So if we do, so be it. So let's get through some pointers and get straight into the questions as quickly as possible. Playing to the scenario. Now, one thing that I was very impressed with Rishabh Pant in a press conference of late was that he goes, when about the... Now, that's a little bit more mature than Rohit Sharma. He out-skippered Rohit Sharma yesterday with that little bit of philosophy. So if we look at the Mumbai Indians, they wanted to play that attacking brand of cricket through the middle order. They were well on top of the Delhi Capitals. They were 3 for 76 when Hardik Pandya came out, and he tried to hit that first ball from MISHRA for 6. Now, yes, if it went for 6, we all would have said what a great shot. But in that particular scenario, when you've got Pollard and Cronell to come after you, and you're well on top and you've got plenty of time, just push the one and get used to the conditions and then power away. You've got to understand that MISHRA, as a spinner myself, you'd be worried about the likes of Pandya, Pollard and Cronell coming in next. But if they're going after the bowling from ball one, you start to feel a little bit more confident and you feel in the game. So they didn't sum up the scenario correctly last night, the Mumbai Indians. Let's go to the next one, please. Way too many no balls. Now, Boomerang is an experienced customer. Last night, he was put under pressure. They needed 15 off 12 balls, the Delhi Capitals, to finish off the game. And Boomerang was bowling the ultimate over in the 19th, and they only had a spinner or Pollard to bowl the final over. So he had to keep the pressure on, and he bowled 2 no balls. And what that did was bring the run rate down to under 6 for that final over. So Boomerang's experience, we all do it, everyone. Doesn't matter how much experience, every now and then you feel the pressure. So Boomerang won't be happy with that last night. And normally he doesn't bowl too many no balls, so he'll rectify that the next game. Okay, let's go to the next point. Now, this is for spinners. I always like to just throw something in there for you out there to improve your game. So leg spinners out there, even off spinners. Let's look at the wicket that he got Kishan Ishan out last night. It's a Yorker. Beautifully bowled, and don't neglect the Yorker spinners, okay? Normally when I bowled it, I used the back spinner, which was a little bit quicker and it was easier to control. MISHRA would do it slightly different, but just that little bit of difference in length, getting it under the bat on the toes. Batsmen still struggle with it against the spinners as well. So spinners, you've got 2 lengths, the good length and the Yorker as well. Don't neglect the Yorker. Okay, we've got a double header today. So let's get into the teams for these 2 games. The first one, Punjab versus Hyderabad. Where is that one? That one is out Chennai. So for me, the team for the Punjab Kings, let's get into it. We've got Rahul, Agarwal, Gale, Huda. Really impressed with the way he played last game. Puran, he's got a lift. He's got to really put some stability in that middle order. Shurak Khan, I'm really loving him. Saxena, going with the spin option. Richardson, Shami, Bishnoi and Singh out the end. So I'm dropping Riley Meredith. The simple fact is that we're playing on a spinning track down there at Chennai. Now, the issue with this batting lineup with Punjab Kings 11, it's going to be a little bit slower than what they've been used to. And that ball holding up is going to be a little bit difficult for the players to get that strike rate going. So they're going to have to learn how to rotate the strike rate. Agarwal's got to, and Rahul got to get him off to a good start and take the pressure off that middle order. Let's go to the next team that are playing the Punjab Kings 11. Let's get their line up, please, Shubs. Hyderabad 11, David Warner, Bairstow, Pandey and Jadav, Shankar, Sharma, Samad, Khan, Kumar, Rahman and Ahmed. I really want to get Williamson in that middle order, but you have to go for the extra spinner. So they're going to be a little bit lighter on with the batting tonight. And basically, this game's going to be a battle of the middle order combinations. Now, Sunrisers Hyderabad and Punjab Kings 11, they're both down the bottom of the table. One of these teams, whoever wins tonight, I think, well, if it's Punjab Kings win tonight, I think they're going to finish in the top 4 at the end of the year. But if they don't, I'm going to start writing them off tonight because this is a game that they should win, Punjab Kings, if they are the real deal. Okay, we've done this in 5 minutes. Okay, just let me get to my notes. Yep, with the Battle of the Middle Orders. That's what the contest is about tonight. Let's go to the next game. It's KKR versus CSK. Now, this is another big one. Kolkata Knight Riders, they haven't been performing to their best ability. So the team that I'm going in with there is Harbishan Singh's coming out for Mavi or Nakoti. But you've got Rana, Gill, Tripathi, Shakib. Out Mumbai. Out, but I'll keep going because I know that you can listen to me at the end there. I would be trying to bring Fergus in for Russell was fully fit. Then you could get some more overs from Andre Russell. And I'd bring Naya in with the Indian batting. So, but because Andre Russell's Russell's not fully fit, I've gone with an Indian quick instead, and having Al Hussain there to do the spinning job and the all-round job as well. So, yeah, that Andre Russell fitness is putting a big hole in the Kolkata Knight Riders team there. Okay, let's go to the CSK. CSK have been playing at Wankhede Stadium for a while now. All right, there's the right team. I am bringing Uthapar into the team. You have to get off to a good, better start. You have to take the pressure off to Plessy. Ali comes in at 3, Raina 4, Raidu, Jadeja, Curran, Bravo. I've got Dhoni down there out number 9, and then you got Thakur and Chahar. The reason why I've got Dhoni down there, he's going to be a bit of a floater. He only comes in when there's pace. If there's spin on, you're going to have to bring Bravo out to attack that those middle periods to keep the run flow going. That's why I've got Dhoni down there. So Dhoni's playing as a floater because he's not batting to his full potential, what we've seen of him in the past. For me, Chennai Super Kings, it's their opening bowlers. They don't have any pace in their opening bowlers. They've got to swing the ball and put pressure on the top 3 of Kolkata Knight Riders. For the Kolkata Knight Riders, that top 3, this is a big opportunity for them to take the game away from Chennai Super Kings because they don't have that extra pace. And the likes of Rana and Tripathi, just when it gets over 140, aren't quite as confident there. And for KKR with their bowlers, they've got to make sure at the back end when CSK are batting, they keep them quiet. Okay, let's get into the questions. Before I go that, Punjab Kings 11, Punjab Kings, should I say, will win the first game. And KKR will win the second game. I've got to go with my favourites team one of my teams that I played for, KKR. But on paper, I think CSK might win it tonight. Okay, let's go to the questions. Okay, Kote, how are you going? Hi from the USA. Ho, ho, ho. I hope it's all going well over there. Why do I take my glasses off when the questions come on? Since Kane Williamson is so critical to this SRH side, who does he replace? Specifically, spin get weakened. Yes. If you're going to play Kane Williamson in that middle order, you drop Mujeeb Rahman and you'll bring in Sandeep Sharma. But they're playing down there in Chennai. So you've got to play with that extra spinner. So what they've got to do is try and back the weaker middle order and just hope that that top order flies away and gets them off to a good start. And the likes of Pant and Righty-o stand up as well. So for me, Kane Williamson, when they move from Chennai, he'll be back in that 4 and they'll get back to that Indian pace attack that they've been so successful with over the last couple of years. Good question there, Cotter. Next question, please. Sam Colgan, how are you going in South Australia? Should Chennai bat Sam Curran higher than MS Dhoni and Ravindra Jadeja? Can't wait for Mujeeb to face his old team. Now, that's going to be a very good contest, Mujeeb facing his old team. But Sam Curran batting higher, look, for me, they're struggling up the top order. They might go back and try and open with him, but I wouldn't do that. I just think Sam Curran down that lower order, he might. Well, it depends who's bowling. If it's a spinner bowling into the left-handed pads, it might be worth taking Sam Curran out there in front of Dhoni. If it's a spinner taking it away from Sam Curran, then I'd put Bravo out there because it's an easier option for the batters. So they could utilise Curran and Bravo at different stages to come up the order in front of MS Dhoni, but I wouldn't do it in front of Jadeja. Remember, Jadeja has done it a number of times for India. He's done it so many times for Chennai Super Kings as well. He's having a little bit of a bad run, but you've got to keep his confidence up. I don't think you can have both Dhoni and Jadeja coming in before Curran and Bravo. You've sacrificed one of them. And I think it's Dhoni because of Jadeja's exposure to cricket over the last couple of months. Okay, next question, please, Shubs. Hope all is going well with you, Sam. Crest, how are you going? California. Oh, love to take my surfboard over there. Hope it's all going well there and you're safe. Love watching your stream. How do you think Rishabh Pant being captain will affect his international game? Suggestions? Okay, Shubs, we're going to have to go through that slow mode for stream. Thanks very much for that, Crest. His international game, I don't think it's going to affect it in a bad way. I think it's going to improve his game because what he's actually doing, he's got to think for other players and he's behind the stumps. He's been given that capability to make decisions. He doesn't have to go through the hierarchy, as we've seen with India when you've got Virat Kohli, Ajinkya Rahane and Rohit Sharma there in the slips. If he wants to make a decision, well, it goes up the ladder there. But today he is in for full control. And doing that, he's learning more about the game. He's thinking outside the box. He's thinking about different things. And for me, that's going to improve his batting. And it is also thinking more about the bowlers that are bowling as well, and that just gives him more options with the bat. So I think it's going to do massive wonders for his game moving forward, and I wouldn't be surprised if he does captain India down the track. Just the way that he's kept his composure and the decisions he's made out there and some of the statements he's made in the media, it just tells me that he switched on. Now, I'm just going to bring up one little no-no for Rishabh Pant. He's the captain. Every now and then there were a couple of bad throws that came in yesterday against the Mumbai Indians. His body language of just letting it hit the pads, not picking it up, rolling away from him, that can just tighten up a little bit because if he's not fully switched on and showing energy and trying to keep everything clean and crisp, then the standards of the fielding come down as well. That's just a little bit of a no-no that I've noticed with Pant out there with his keeping and captaincy. Okay, next question, please, Shubs. Oh, Shivan Goal, how are you going? Why are there less bowlers captains? Now, that was on the stream last night. Now, for me, bowlers captain, there's just too much going on out in the middle, especially in T20 cricket. You don't have time to think about what's happening with your other players. You can't, you lose that bit of feel with the other 10 out there because you've got 4 overs to bowl. You've got to think about your plans to the batsman. Then when you get out the top of the mark, when you're under pressure and you've got to keep the run rate down, You've got that extra pressure as well. So if you've got 100 different things coming through your mind and you've got to worry about who's going to bowl out the other end while you're halfway through the over, it can just all fall apart, and then your bowling starts to deteriorate. Then all of a sudden you lose focus on making the correct decisions for the rest of your players moving forward. That's why I wouldn't have bowlers as captains. But I'll tell you what, the bowlers should be captaining themselves out in the middle anyway. So all 5 bowlers or 6 bowlers should have their plans against opposition batsmen. When they get to the top of their mark, they should be the ones setting the field. The only reason why the captain comes in and interferes with that is if the pressure's on and the captain feels is that the bowler's got to do something different than what the game plan was before. So, for example, someone like myself, we're behind the 8 ball, the opposition team's in front of the run rate, and they've only lost 1 wicket. Do I come on in that 7th over or 9th over and get a wicket, or do I try and slow the run rate down? And would make that decision as captain and bowler at that stage. I'm generally a more defensive bowler. If he wants the wicket, then we go more attacking at that particular moment to get the wicket. So that's where the captain comes in and interferes with the bowler's plans. Other than that, the bowler should be captaining himself. Shivan Gul, thank you very much for that question. Everyone else that's joining me, thank you very much for joining. I hope the stream's not cutting in and out this stage. My internet connection is just a little slow today. Vishnu Jayanti, how are you going? What do you think about the rise of young Indian pacers like Harsha Patel and Khan and Sakaria? Who do you think will bag the purple and orange cap this season? I'm still thinking with the batting cap, that will be Surya Kumar Yadav. I think he'll finish off extremely well this year. And I think spinners are going to play a huge part this year. For me, I think it might be Rahul Chahar from the Mumbai Indians, especially with the quality of bowlers that he's got around him. They're the two that I think will be the leading wicket takers and batsmen. But the Indian pacers, I've been very impressed with Harsha Patel. I would not be surprised if he gets picked in the squad for India in this T20 World Cup coming up this year. And I think he'll play a little bit more white ball cricket in the 50-over game as well, because he's got a lot of variety. He's also got a little bit of pace about him as well. But just the way he executes his that variety has really impressed me, especially under pressure. And he stood up in a team that needs someone who can bowl death bowling, and he's delivering the goods out the moment. And this little Sakaria, I've been really impressed with him, the way that he's gone about it. Not much pace, small height. So everything that he's got is against having someone like him, who's just a frontline bowler, bowling in the IPL. But his variations of swing, every now and then he's got a sharper bouncer, which does surprise the opposition batsman. But his variations, his slower deliveries are well disguised, and I'm going to be interested to see how he is performing at the end of the tournament once a lot of batsmen have worked out and studied what he's actually doing, because he's just new to the scene. So let's watch his progress throughout the tournament to see how he adapts to batsmen changing up the way that they face him. That's the one thing that I'm looking forward to with the Rajasthan Royals moving forward. Okay, Avish Khan, been very impressed with him from the Delhi Capitals as well. The other night I thought he'd be out and they'd play Nortke, the overseas player, and just bowl an extra Indian spinner. But he's just said, no, Nortke, you're the main man last year, but I'm not letting you in here. I'm telling Ricky Ponting and Rishabh Pant that I am the man. I love his guts. I love his determination and his will just to be in the contest. He's a player that I want in my team. Actually, all 3 of those fast bowlers you brought up, I'd love in my team. Don't need the big names. Just need those performers, the lesser likes who just get out there and do the job, giving 100%. Next question, Shub. Sorry about that. I'll put you on the spot there. Austin Dacuna, how are you going, Austin? Do you think Mumbai Indians are not the same champion side with their middle order not firing and Rowett getting out for 40s and not scoring big 50s? RCB Delhi Capitals favourites for final. I tell you what, Austin, you could be on the money there with RCB and Delhi Capitals. The Mumbai Indians at the present moment last night just looked as though they were a little bit overconfident with the way that they were trying to continue to attack the Delhi Capitals spinners in that middle period. It was a slowish track, and it's a track that you need to take your time on to get settled in that middle order. And I think that's just somewhere where they've got to change their game plan. And it's going to be interesting to see where we're at in the finals, whether we've got fresh wickets or we've got those worn wickets because we're playing a lot of games on the same venue throughout the IPL, whether those worn wickets are going to slow it up and bring the other teams closer to the Mumbai Indians juggernaut. But the thing is, I've been very impressed with the way that the Mumbai Indians have performed away from home. They don't have that home ground advantage where they really dominate. But, you know, that's something that Joe Wardner has got on top of them, and they're still in the contest, close to the contest when they lose their games. They're not losing by much, and I still think they'll be the bee's knees. They'll be in the top three, and I wouldn't be surprised if they play in the final, but it's going to be either RCB or Delhi Capitals this year. And one of those two teams is going to win their first flag, I think. That's where I see the IPL at this present moment. Good question there, Austin. Next question, please, Shubs. Can we get that up? PC Tube, how we go? Namaste. Yes, namaste to you too. From Houston, Texas. Oh, my God. In the middle of the country there, or down the bottom in Texas. Gee, I'd love to go to Texas. Should CSK give a longer rope to Ruturaj, or should he be replaced by Uttapa or another uncapped player like Hari or Jagadeesan? I'd really love Jagadeesan to get a go. I've seen him in the TNPL. He's performed admirably down there. He got a couple of opportunities last year. And for me, I think there's got to be a change out the top of the order there. I'd really love Jagadeesan to get that opportunity. But where the tournament is at the moment, I think you've just got to go for Uttapa at this stage. Get a bit of flow going in that top order. And if one of the other batsmen aren't performing in that middle order after the next couple of games, you bring Jagadeesan in. You've got to give the youngster another opportunity. And it's good. He's from Tamil Nadu, and the Chennai Super Kings picked him up as well. I really love that type of loyalty. So for me, Uttapa comes in, Jagadeesan if the middle order starts failing throughout. So I think we're having a few troubles with our internet connection today, so we're going to cut it a little bit shorter. But don't forget to follow me on Twitter and Instagram. It's @Brad_Hogg. I think the Punjab Kings are going to win today against the Sunrisers Hyderabad, even though they're playing on a different wicket and it's going to be tougher for them. And I think Kolkata Knight Riders might be a little too good for CSK for the simple fact that I played for Kolkata Knight Riders. And I just like to keep that loyalty. But have a good day. Namaste to everyone in India, and g'day to everyone in America and Australia. Thanks for following me live on Hoggs Vlog.